This is a very high quality pair of American sterling silver Brighton Bun travelling candlesticks made by the New York company of Dominick Haff. So let's open them up and show you how they work, and then we can discuss them a little bit more. So as with most Brighton Buns, the two halves unscrew. And we take female section to match with a male section, and you have the opposite on the other pair. Screw them together and you've got a travelling candlestick with a second one yet to be made. And these are made with a repousse and chasing technique. And Dominick and Haff were known for the skill of their workmen on such work. And the technique involves getting a sheet of silver, pushing through the design from the back, that's the repousse side of the work, pushing through the design and then turning it around and chasing the design to the outside to sharpen it, to give it more focus and more definition. And if you look, hopefully you can see the quality of the work there. And then added to that, to make them even smarter, you've got a gilt interior, a gilt wash added, much like you would with a drinking cup or flask, just to make it sing a little bit more and make it a little bit stronger. So you can also see that it's marked there, sterling, and you've got a rather unusual logo, which is the logo for Dominick and Haff. And they were born out of a company which was started in 1821 by William Gale, became William Gale and Son. Different people joined the company over the years. Henry Blanchard Dominick joined in 1868, and then 3 years later in 1870, Leroy Haff also joined the company. And then eventually the two of them took over the company and carried it on. There's more about Dominick and Haff on our website in the makers section. You can read about them there, along of course with lots of more photographs on this pair of Brighton Bun travelling candlesticks. And these are going to be around about 1890 in date. We know that Dominick and Haff produced a series of flatware in 1888 that had a Rococo design. We would say this is a Rococo design, these C scrolls here, very typical Rococo. And so that gives us a little bit of a pointer to the date. We're going to say that they're going to be around about 1890 in date, perhaps a little bit later, perhaps a little bit earlier. We can't be more accurate than that. And they were probably intended more for a domestic traveller rather than a military army officer. The quality of them is exceptional, and they would have been far more expensive than a simple pair of brass Brighton Buns like this set, which would have been more in line with being used by an army officer, and would have been much cheaper in price at the time. These would have been an expensive pair of candlesticks, and you can see that really just from the wonderful quality of them. So they're sterling silver. They're made, or were made, by Dominick and Haff of New York, and they're decorated with a Rococo design, which has been made by repousse and chasing the silver sheet. And they really are quite an interesting and unusual pair of Brighton Buns. Brighton Buns are hardly ever as decorative as this pair, which is a good indication, as I said, that they are probably made for a very wealthy man or woman who would need them in travelling around in the United States. Fantastic pair of Brighton Buns. We've never had a pair quite like these before, and we've certainly had plenty of pairs in the past. But go and have a look at our website. You'll find out more on Dominick and Haff, and also will be lots more photographs of these there as well. So they're going to be around about 1890 in date, and they're made of sterling silver.